I'm building content that's going to attract my ideal reader. I'm not using YouTube just to become some famous influencer and get a bunch of money. I want to leverage YouTube in a way that I'm bringing the readers into and building a community around. Because when I can build that community, sales come naturally. You don't need to sit here and go, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, because they're going to do it for you. That's the amazing thing. It's about building a community where people can be able to see the whites of your eyes and trust you.
Welcome back to the Business of Christian Fiction podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Fahrenbach, and today I'm joined by Dale L. Roberts. He is an author, a YouTuber, a video content creator, if you want to call it that. But you have actually written not just fitness books, but you have actually written like how-to books on self-publishing. And that's why I asked Dale to come here on the podcast, because he has recently written a book and released it that's called YouTube for Authors. And if you have heard me talk before, I have said YouTube. I think this is the wave of the future for authors, self-published authors specifically, in order to help them be profitable and also making a better return on their investment of their energy and what they're doing. And so I asked Dale to come on the podcast today to talk about YouTube, to kind of dispel any myths out there about it, and to hopefully convince you guys that if you are a fiction writer, you should actually seriously consider taking up YouTube. So thank you, Dale, for being here. I appreciate it so very much.
So pumped to be here, Rachel. Thank you so much for the invite. I love talking about YouTube, so let's do this.
Okay. All right. Well, first, let's kind of recap for us, especially for those who don't know who you are. Though,
Okay.
you guys, if you are not following him, you should be. He does this amazing thing where he releases kind of like a news roundup every week about what's going on in the world of self-publishing, and it is extremely helpful. I mean, he does other stuff too, but that one I just love. I love that roundup. So, you should be following him on YouTube for sure. So, Dale, can you just kind of fill us in on who you are, kind of how you got to this journey of self-publishing, and what led you to start a YouTube channel?
I was really enjoying, first of all, the ego stroke. That was incredible. Thank you so much. Very thankful, all joking aside. I started this journey about 12 years ago when I was working at my 9 to 5 job. I was an activities director for a senior living community out in Arizona. And my corporate wellness coach one day, she knew I was big about health and fitness. She challenged me because she challenged me in so many other ways. She would challenge me to fitness challenge, to diet challenges, and all these things. But she just knew I was so disciplined. She was like, I need to give him something especially hard. So she goes, I challenge you to write a book about health and fitness. And I was like, yeah, all right, done. All right, I'll do it. And over the course of a year, I churned out my manuscript and fired off that thing. It was probably not the best book in the world, but it did lead me to leave my job and pursue a career as a full-time writer. Now, the first couple of years sucked. It was really bad. It was terrible, but I learned a lot in the process. And after those first couple of years is when I broke ground on YouTube. And naturally, people wanted to know, hey, how are you doing it? So I love helping people out. I love to be able to provide an answer that will take care of most everyone. And so that's one of the reasons why I broke into YouTube and teaching people how to write and publish books that sell. It's because I really wanted to kind of give back because I pulled from the same community. I've learned from all the authors that surround me. I've learned from the successful authors that have become for me. And so sometimes I feel, I don't want to say obligated, but I feel empowered to give people what I've gotten in return, and hopefully they'll be able to pay that forward. So all that to say this, that yes, you've nailed it. I am a self-published author as well as a video content creator, although sometimes I just say YouTuber because it makes it super simple, which a lot of people are like, you're a YouTuber. Oh my.
Okay, so I have to ask, like, has anybody ever like spotted you out in the wild and been like, I've seen you on YouTube?
Yes, that's happened. That's happened, and it's even happened to my wife as well. She has a channel. She went to the Summit of Greatness with Lewis House. He used to host it out in Columbus, and someone picked her out. Knew her like, oh, there's Kelly. And I was at Vid Summit one year. video creators only, but these two guys like flipped out. They were like, "Oh my gosh, Dale Roberts, blah," and they yelled to me, of course. So now, like, it's from across the room. I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Do I owe you money? Please don't beat me up." But it turned out to be
Right.
really, really cool. But yes, getting spotted is really nice. And then, I mean, if I show up to a conference like, say, Inkers Con, which no longer is in person, that's besides the point, or 20 books to 50K out in Vegas, or even Author Nation that's coming up here, typically people will know me, but they're usually not doing like back handsprings like, "Dale, how's it going? Here's my firstborn son." It's
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's usually like, "Hey, it's cool." But every now and then there are some people that are very animated. And it usually I'm like, "Ah."
I
But
can
it's
imagine.
totally fine.
But I think that like the reason I asked you that is because it's going to lead into my first question about why should fiction authors seriously consider
Mhm.
YouTube. And I think one of the reasons is it puts a face to the name. Really, like, you know, you just see this book and maybe you see a little square at the back and you're like, oh, that's the author. But when that author has a video based platform of some sort, even if it's just showing up on socials in a video way, it does allow for a more personal personality to come through, and that person becomes more personable, and it's like, oh, they're a real person, and they're somebody like me. And I think that it just kind of humanizes the author instead of this
Yeah.
lofty person out there that wrote this book.
Hmm.
So why don't we get into that? Why should fiction writers seriously consider YouTube? Let's go into that question, because I have tried to suggest this to people and they're like, eh. So what would you say to convince them?
Oh man, well, I'm never going to try to convince anybody that there's any one thing that's going to work for them. I tried to do that when I was in direct sales and network marketing with one of those direct sales companies, MLM type things, the multi-level marketing. And I learned real quick that you don't try to drag people or try to convince them or anything else like that. But what you can do is present the evidence and how it's been successful for you and other people, and then hopefully they'll be able to come along. So here's where I would say is before I try to convince anything is um, what are those barriers that are preventing you? Like, if you're a person like my best friend Toby, love him to death. He does not have YouTube's app. He never visits YouTube's site. If I were to try to convince him to do a YouTube channel, he won't see the value in it because he's not a consumer. So he sees nothing
Mhm.
there. So if you're looking at YouTube and going, never been there, never used it, it's probably not going to be something you're going to want to break into. Sure, go look at it, give it a shot. But if that's something that just doesn't resonate with you, it'd be the same thing of putting me over on Pinterest. I I've got a Pinterest thing there. I don't do anything other than just link dump. Like that's literally all I do there. I probably shouldn't even do that. It's a complete waste for everybody. I'm just adding to the noise. And all that to say this, that I just Pinterest doesn't resonate with how I feel or I feel that's
Mhm.
aligned with my brand. So figure out, is YouTube your thing? Okay? Because if it isn't, into conversation. You don't need to, but I would say just at least pop on the site because I believe the stat, and I even shared this in my book, YouTube for Authors, it was 2.1 billion with a B users on YouTube in 2024, and that's gone
Yeah.
up going into 2025. 2.1 billion. If you just even get 0.01%, if you can reach that, that is enough to build a massive community on. So that is right there, proof of concept. And there is a niche for everybody out there, whether you're doing fiction or nonfiction. Nonfiction, it's dead simple. Obviously, people have problems, you have solutions. But with fiction, a lot of people kind of get hung up on the details of like, well, I don't want to teach people how to write books. Don't. The content that you're putting out needs to align with what your reader expects. So, what is your reader going to expect when they arrive on YouTube? So let me give you a good example. So this is something I covered in my book as well, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a high level view of what I'm going to be doing. Later on this year, I'm going to be pivoting to a fiction brand in October. I've already started building out the game plan on how I'm going to build that YouTube channel and the content that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and reveal it. I'm doing sci-fi horror. That's my genre, it's my niche. It's not for everybody, I totally understand, but it is something that has proof of concept over on YouTube because I've gone and I've studied some channels that have covered sci-fi horror stories and I've
Mhm.
seen what works and what doesn't. And so then I start to narrow down that list and figure out, okay, how can I adapt what I'm doing based on what is successful. What can I be authentic about and create a new spin on that will get people to come back? So let me give you two concrete examples because I've got 12 videos I'm building out for a 12-week launch schedule starting in October.
Okay.
And the first of those videos is going to be a movie to book comparison. I'm focused more on the book aspect because I want to bring readers. I want to
Mm-hmm.
bring readers over here because readers mean if I bring them there, they're going to naturally want to check out my book as the very next step. So my very first video already done, finished it. It's all written. I just need to shoot it and edit and all that type of stuff. So I'm taking my time on this one. At any rate, it is based on Stephen King's novella called The Mist. The Mist had also a movie version of it done, which I loved it. And there was also a TV series that was done. I disliked it. And I thought that would be a compelling angle is talking about that book and comparing those to the movie and the TV series. What did they get right in each one of them, and which ones did they get wrong? And I can actually come from it as a reader perspective. And I think that's where a lot of readers are going to come over and go, oh, he's not only just a reader like us, he's also an author. I'm finding some way to work in my brand, my sci-fi horror. It's like, hey, if you really enjoyed something, listen, you really dig sci-fi horror, you're going to love my book, Infestate. You can go pick it up over at the link inside the description down below. Let's go ahead and move on to point number 10. See how smooth and seamless that was? Dead simple. Now, I don't expect everybody to be able to rattle that off. By the way, I've done nearly 2,000 videos in the last 9 years. So, and that's
Exactly.
not an exaggeration. So please don't feel like you're going to be able to rattle it off like that. But all that to say this, that I'm building content that's going to attract my ideal reader. I'm not using YouTube just to become some famous influencer and get a bunch of money. I want to leverage YouTube in a way that I'm bringing the readers into and building a community around. Because when I can build that community, sales come naturally. You don't need to sit here and go, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, because they're going to do it for you. That's the amazing thing. You could still do it. I wouldn't recommend you be lazy, be like, yeah, my audience is going to take care of it. But that's just a good way to kind of show that YouTube is not just about let me sell books. It's about building a community where people can be able to see the whites of your eyes and trust you. Absolutely just say, hey, you know what? I love this person. His viewpoints are fantastic. Or, you know what? I like sci-fi horror. His opinions are a little bit off, but let me leave him a piece of my mind because I think that this is worth it. And so it creates that engagement. It gets it to where people are going to have an exchange back and forth, and everybody gets along, and we're all gathered in one space talking about the type of fiction we really love and enjoy. Now, that was just one specific way I'm going to be doing video content is doing the book to movie comparison. There's so many other things like top 10 lists. One of them
Mm.
is going to be my top 10 all-time favorite sci-fi horror books of 2000s, something like
Will you
that.
put your book in there?
Oh yeah,
Will you put your book into
absolutely.
that list?
I'm a raging narcissist. Of course I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'll most likely put it in there and I'll say something cheeky as well. I'll be like, hey, look, I know, a little bit biased, but I'm gonna put number 10, my book. I'm not gonna put it at number one because I know that I'm not better than this author.
Yeah.
So it could probably be something like that. But try to think about that. How can I work my book within the content? So that way it's not just an ad for your book. Deliver
Hmm.
value first, the sales come next. I think the most
Right.
important thing is when you build value, you're going to build trust and credibility that people are going to come back. There's a good reason why I have over 120,000 subscribers between two channels. It's because I show up time and again and I deliver exactly what they're looking for. And when they're happy, I'm happy. And it just becomes this a beautiful relationship. And I never have to worry about like, oh, I feel so salesy sharing my latest book. Like, no, I never have to worry about it because I've already built so much value and trust with my viewers that when it comes time to share my book, that's the next logical step. Oh,
Right.
this dude was just spitting some facts about sci-fi horror inside this video. He's got a book. I gotta see this. I gotta go get
Yeah.
this. Or for that matter, someone could even go like a troll or a hater could probably like, oh, there's no way his book said it. I'm gonna go check it out. They're going to go buy it. Same positive result. Maybe I'll get a negative review. I don't care. That's how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. That makes sense. Um, I have a couple of follow-up questions
Mhm.
getting into a little bit of the nitty-gritty. So my first question is for those authors who maybe don't fit into a specific genre, maybe they might write more like literary fiction. Do you have any
Mhm.
suggestions for how to approach that if you can't be like genre really specific that has like tropes and all that.
Temper your expectations with the reality that if you don't niche down, it's going to be hard to be discoverable.
Mm,
Think about it from this aspect. McDonald's is great at serving hamburgers and fries and other really bad things for your health. Can you imagine if one day you popped into McDonald's and they're selling shoes, but they don't have your hamburgers? You're going to be upset. Like, where
hmm
I don't want shoes. I just want a freaking hamburger. That's what I came here for. And so that's what a lot of people will look at YouTube like is, am I going to be able to trust that this person's going to be able to deliver the type of stuff that I expect on a regular basis? I know this is a real challenge, and I know this puts a lot of authors and paints them back into a corner when I tell them you have to niche down.
Yeah.
The reality is, if you try to be everything to everyone, you'll be nothing to no one. So
hmm
it's just that simple. You have to get very, very dialed in about what you do. Now, not to say that there are a plenty of variety channels that are crushing it, but those are typically the exception to the rule. However, don't let me stop you. I want you to prove me wrong. Go over on YouTube, do a channel that is multi-genre, that covers all aspects of literary fiction, that covers all aspects of each of the niches that you publish in. It's okay. I don't want you to feel as a creative that you should be blocked into a corner, but you got to temper your expectations with the reality that if you can't get specific about who your audience is and what they need, your results are going to be minimal at best.
And that's true, not just about YouTube, but across the board, any kind of marketing,
So true. Yep.
really. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next follow up to that is you mentioned you have these 12 videos that you're going to release over at launch. Are you
Yep.
going to then continue to release videos after those 12 weeks, or is it you going to do more of just like a batch just when it's time to release the video? I mean, release the book.
So I'm going to see how long it takes me to do this 12 series. So far, I'm only about a few days into it. Week tops. Actually, it's probably been about a week. I need to be realistic here because I sat and I did a lot of research and I put together a lot of title variations. I put together descriptions. I also thought about thumbnails and stuff. And now I'm attacking the scripts and going through and scripting some of this stuff. Which, by the way, you could script, you can outline, or if you feel like going raw, go for it. It's just a preference. Don't think you have to script your videos like I do. I just like it because guess what? I think Rachel, you can agree with me. Editing videos, it's not easy sometimes. Sometimes you got to go in and you got to cut things out because you're like, I didn't want to say that, or yeah, I'm going too long here. Let me go ahead and cut this.
Or you
Uh,
mess up and then you try to go back to what you're saying. You're like, I don't even know what I was talking about because I went off the cuff and
yes,
now I don't even know where I'm at. Did I say that already? And then in post, when you're like editing, you're like, oh my word, I said the same thing 3 times and never got to the main point. So, yes, at least have an outline for yourself. Don't just go completely off the cuff. But
yeah.
yeah,
There are some
yeah.
people that are naturals at it. I'd like to point this one out that over my shoulder, there's a large silver play button. That's actually not for my channel. My channel is the small one. They decided to make it smaller when I got it. But a longtime supporter of mine, his name was Walter Wyburn, and he was a card, loved him to death. He's since passed. Quite the sweetheart of man, Southern gentleman, if there ever was one in these days. And he he literally could just turn on his camera, shoot, record, upload, and he would get in tens to hundreds of thousands of views on his videos. By the way, worst video production quality ever. Like it was
Yeah.
360p resolution.
Okay.
Normally, like right now, we're on
Yeah.
Zoom and it's 720p. It's
Right.
half that resolution. So it was real blocky and pixelated. But the funny thing is, he and I had a conversation one day when I had noticed that he had a Canon DSLR camera, high-end camera, on a tripod. I was like, dude, what are you doing? You got a DSLR in your background. He goes, oh, should I use that? Don't listen to me, man. You've been successful without my recommendations. Why are you going to start now? And he goes, that's true. So he kept that 360p camera. And guess what? That
No
man was
way.
pulling in a great living over on YouTube. He got up to 100,000 subscribers in less than a year.
Wow.
1 year. It took me 8 years to get to that point. Dang it. So all
Yeah.
that to say
And
this,
I'm
that
guessing because he was himself and he was just
that's it.
dialing into who he was and people resonated with that.
That's it. And so figure out what works for you as a video content creator. And sometimes it's going to take a little bit of experimentation if you're brand new to it. Maybe you try scripting. Maybe you try outlining, doing like a bullet point. You can always just put how I started out used to be bullet points. I would tape it right below my web camera. And then I would just look down real quick, see my bullet point, continue on. And all I need to do is take that video, I'd toss it over into oh gosh. iMovie. I toss it into iMovie and I would chop it up that way. I think it was Windows Movie Maker initially, and then I ended up getting a Mac and I used the iMovie and it's free. And I would just clip those things to where it would be seamless and it wouldn't show me looking down and grabbing that bullet point.
Right.
But yeah, all that to say this, that Walter did not go for perfection. He found
Hmm.
something that worked for him. And what I would say is for any authors out there that are considering and going into this, don't just jump into the deep end of the pool. Don't expect that you got to go over and invest in thousands of dollars in equipment. It took me years to build up what I have right now, years, because I would take all the earnings that I got from YouTube and I would reinvest it into it. So that way I would just increase my production value in due time.
Right.
Start with where you're at. And the next thing is find out what works for you. And also think about your schedule. I like having a split schedule of 50% author time and 50% video time. That's my preference. If you look at your schedule and go, Dale, I do not feel like doing very much video at all. Totally fine. Even if you have 10 minutes per week, that is more than enough. Just
Mm.
sit on down, shoot a 2 to 3 minute video, upload it. Do that once per week over the next year. You got yourself 52 different assets, assets that perform like windows to your brand, to you. More discoverability leads to more sales and building more of a community that will also lead to more sales. And it's all one big happy cycle.
Yeah. So speak to that a little bit about it being a window to your brand. I love that phrase.
Yeah.
Because one of the unique aspects of YouTube is that it's a search engine. It
Yeah.
really is like, so talk a little bit more about that, about how there's longevity to the videos that is unlike on social media.
Oh yeah, there's a huge difference between putting a post over on X or Facebook versus putting it on YouTube. There is a long tail that you're going to be able to experience with YouTube, especially based on the content. There is a word that's tossed around, and feel free to go ahead and look this up. It's called evergreen content. That means the type of content that's always going to be good. In other words, someone can be able to watch that this year and next year, and the context works just fine. It's not going to be outdated. It's going to work. So, for instance, that video I was telling you about the Mist novella, that's going to be fine. I mean, unless for some reason, there's a new movie or something like that added to it, then I would just re-record and do a new video of it. But I think right now, that's going to be a good evergreen video. Let's
Mhm.
go ahead and look at, for instance, though, my news segments that you had pointed out on the podcast. They do great. Everything right out the first week, always good. Rare exceptions to the rule will I ever see a very good long tail on those because the news segments are time sensitive. And so it loses its appeal. It loses its ability to be evergreen and long term. Sure, maybe there's some pieces that are going to be evergreen in it, but by and large, it's going to die off because maybe this Kendall Vela was canceled this week. I went ahead and shared that. Well, in another year from now, some people are going to be, yeah, I already know that was. So they're not going to
Yeah.
be looking up that video. That video is not going to be discoverable. So should you do all evergreen content? It's up to you. The reason why I do the news segment is because it's something I enjoy and I love to share information that I curate and distill down for the indie author community.
And
So
we
I'm
are very,
okay.
very grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Kudos. But as I'm building out my sci-fi horror fiction brand, I am focused on evergreen content. I am focused on things that's going to be able to work for the long term, because that means that whether it's 2 years from now or 5 years from now, that video is going to remain relevant and discoverable on their platform. And it's not buried by the algorithm. If you have a good quality video that resonates with the large population of YouTube, you're going to do great. If you find that you have published a video and it's not performing, I hate to tell you, it's not the algorithm working against you. You just don't have a winning formula yet. But you're going to learn if you keep publishing and putting out videos. In due time, you're going to find out what resonates with your audience the most and what resonates with the least. For instance, I don't know if you were following me a few years ago when I did the live stream in a haunted hotel.
Mm.
Did 9 hours there. Handful of people showed up, but it was part of a video where I was writing a horror book in a haunted hotel. So it was kind of meta. And I thought, oh,
Ah,
this
that's
would go.
fun.
It was, I sunk a good pretty penny into this thing because I had a video producer help me put it
Yeah.
together. I had a friend of mine that came along. We had to pay for the hotel room, which by the way, never got to sleep in it because it was a 24-hour live stream. So I never got to really experience the funness of it
Right.
actually sleeping and staying there. But That video bombed. It just sucked.
Oh,
It told me really quick, your audience doesn't care about that. That video is
hmm
not any good. And it's no offense, the algorithm is not at fault. It's the
hmm
viewing audience. And if it's put in front of enough viewers that it does not resonate with it, guess what YouTube does? They're like, it's no
Right.
good.
They're not going to show it. Yeah.
Yeah. But one little tip though, don't lose heart on things like that. Always just try to adjust your course going forward. And the other thing is too, I found sometimes just changing out the thumbnail, that's the graphic design that represents your video, and changing out the title can make a huge difference. Good
Yeah.
friend of mine and former video producer of the Self-Publishing with Dale show is Dan Norton. And he found that through another channel that he does called Deep Pocket Monster. It's for Pokemon trading cards. He had a video that they put a lot of time and money into it. We call that a hero video when you're putting
hmm
everything into it because this is going to be the thing that's going to bring in, good amount of revenue, good amount of viewers, new subscribers, so on and so forth. Well, this thing tanked and they put their heart and soul into it.
mm
And he changed the thumbnail and title, changed the thumbnail title. He did it multiple times until finally, boom, woke up the algorithm. For whatever
Really?
reason, it finally hit the audience that they were looking for and it took off. So this video had an excellent long tail because it started out garbage, but as soon as he found the right variation of a good thumbnail and a good title, it hit the right viewers and then it took off. And then YouTube just starts to recommend, oh, we need to get this person to watch it. We need to get this person to watch it because they have similar watch patterns. And so that's where YouTube's algorithm guesses, oh, if this viewer liked this video, they're going to like your video. So I'm going to recommend it to them. And when they recommend it and someone watches it and they enjoy it, guess what's going to happen? They're going to recommend it to more people like that.
Right.
And even if you're able to tap into even a fraction of the amount of recommendations through YouTube, it is huge. Recommendations is even better than search engine
hmm
discoverability. Search engine optimization is great. It'll get you seeded out and hitting all the different search engines, be it on YouTube, Google, Bing. I've got it from DuckDuckGo before. There's so many different ones. But at the end of the day, the greatest amount of viewership comes from recommended traffic over on YouTube's platform. So when you can kind of tap into that, the real challenge though is you need to build volume. You need to have a nice backlog of videos because then you're going to be able to again experiment, find out what resonates with your ideal reader or viewer, if you will, and then you'll
Yeah.
be able to double down on those concepts.
Oh, I love that. There's a lot there. And if you're listening to this and you're like, he just talked about a million things. I don't even know half of what he said. It's okay because he's written a book for you and it goes over this stuff. So you're gonna want to
Yeah.
check out his book, YouTube for authors. But I really appreciate what you're talking about there, the experimentation um of the videos, the experimentation of like what is resonating. And I think sometimes us as authors, especially fiction authors, because we tend to think in like a full book format, right? Like we're very
Yeah.
much like this is from beginning, middle, and end. Like that's what we've got here, and we're perfecting it so much, and we spend so much time. And it's sometimes hard for us to be okay with tweaking things, and it's hard for us to be okay with like this didn't work. But let me try something slightly different. We tend to
Yep.
be like, this didn't work. Oh my gosh, I'm the most awful author in the world, and I should never write another thing again. Like that's we go down this like huge
Get out of my
bullseye.
head, Rachel.
So I know that it's hard sometimes for us to be experimental. So I
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that you brought that up and you kind of expanded on the value of experimenting. I
Right.
think it's really important. I wanted to circle back to something you said at the very beginning of the episode of our conversation. I mean, you were talking about not making videos about that making videos about the topic of the genre and
Mhm.
whatnot. I almost want to say it sounds like you're saying like start a conversation about the type of fiction you write and invite
Yep.
other people into that conversation so then they'll invite more people into the conversation.
You said it better than I could have. That's actually perfect because it is. It's about starting that digital conversation with people. It's about having just that right um, dialogue that will attract that person that you want to have that conversation with. It seems like you're screaming into a void sometimes when you're on social media, and YouTube goes underneath social media as well, believe it or not. It's a
Mhm.
social media platform. And you can feel like you're shouting into the void if you don't have a specific game plan. And that's one of the reasons why I say be very deliberate, be very particular and specific about how you're communicating and who you're communicating it to, because otherwise you're going to end up spinning your wheels. I share this lesson in my book, YouTube for Authors, that I had an incredible boom in my business in 2020. COVID treated people poorly, whereas it was the exact opposite for me. I was treated really, really well. And with that success came, I thought, well, let's go ahead and experiment with some different types of videos. And one of the video ideas I had was I was like, you know what authors need? They need readers. But what do readers need? Readers need e-readers and tablets, right? And so
Yeah.
my thought process was, let me go ahead and I'm going to do some e-reader reviews and tablet reviews. So that way the authors that watch my videos can share this with their audience. The problem was my audience is consisted of authors. I should not have stepped into that region. I could have done that video on another channel. The problem was those videos did really good. Brought me a handsome amount of affiliate earnings. I was able to
I'm
make a
sure.
little bit of money from every sale of each one of these e-readers. It was beautiful, loved it. Got some great views. I ended up getting paid through YouTube as well for the ads they ran on it. So it was awesome. But the problem was I started running into an issue here, Rachel. And every time I would go live or would publish a video, I was losing subscribers. And I'm just baffled. I'm going, I went live and I lost a dozen subscribers. Am I that terrible going live? And I was personalizing
Yeah.
it. I was like, what is going on here? Why am I having this type of effect? And it wasn't until I was about a year out that I looked at it and I go, oh, I was helping authors, but really I was technically helping readers, and I'm bringing in people that had expectations that that's what I would talk about. I would talk
Hmm.
about e-readers, that I would talk about tablets. And so what ended up happening is it split my message and it split my audience. So anytime that I was publishing anything about writing or self-publishing, and these e-reader folks would see me go live or publish a video, they'd instantly go, what is this clown talking about? I just want to talk about Kindle e-readers. Get out of here. Go home, dude. Unsubscribe. And so that is where you
Yeah.
really need to figure out, like, who is your audience? Who are you serving? It is a good idea to experiment, but also you need to have enough self-awareness that you can understand that, oh, according to my analytics here, I'm losing subscribers every time I'm going live. How is that happening? Let me go back and review the footage. Footage looks great. Okay. Let's go over and look at the other videos. Where are we getting traffic from? What's resonating with these viewers, who's showing up and who's unsubscribing. When you can kind of figure that out and just figure out and make some sense of the tea leaves, for lack of better terms, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that you start to understand, like, oh, yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, as soon as I delisted each of those videos, I moved them over to an unlisted capacity. Boom, channel shot straight up. I was like,
Really?
oh my gosh, it was like clipping dead weight. Boom.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was so nervous because it was paying me a good amount of money. Like
Yeah.
it made it worth my while, but it felt defeating because I didn't
Hmm.
like knowing that I was building a huge subscriber base and there was a hole in my boat. And I found out
Hmm.
where the hole was. It was because I was not deliberate. I was not calculated and I was not specific about the audience I was going for. Sure, I said, hey, authors, here's what your readers can read. Authors were like, no, Dale. We come to you to find out about the latest things in KDP, Street Lib, Draft to Digital, all that stuff.
Right.
E-readers will sort all that stuff out elsewhere.
Yeah. So, as far as for your fiction, are you going to start a new channel for that then?
Yep.
So you have different audiences, obviously, because you're talking to
Yep.
um, authors on your main channels. Do you have other channels that I don't know about? Because I know about your,
I do.
okay, because I tried to figure out if I could find any other ones and I did not succeed. So, but it's, I didn't do that deep of digging though. So, I'm sure that they're there.
Don't worry,
But
I
do
don't feel
you,
creeped out. My wife does that for some people. She'll see like a YouTuber and like start to do deep dive research on them.
yeah.
I'm like, that's weird, right? You probably shouldn't tell anybody. Here I am telling everybody else on the
Yeah.
podcast. Um,
Yeah. But it's interesting. I was
yeah.
curious because you have these fiction, I'm not fiction, I'm sorry, fitness building or fitness books that you have published. Do you have
Yep.
YouTube channel for fitness then
I
too?
did, but I never put any time, attention, or energy into it. The funny thing
Okay.
is, when YouTube fell into my lap, I was dabbling with it. And I got a couple of interviews because I started hitting it pretty big in early 2016. And because of that exposure is what led me to doing a YouTube video, because it was taking me away from my work of writing and publishing books.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was about a year into that career of doing YouTube that I was like, I really like this. And there's no reason I should feel bad for wanting to be an author and video creator. And so ever
Yes.
since I got comfortable with wanting to be both of those titles, I got
Mm-hmm.
really good at it. Now, for authors out there that don't want to just be an author YouTuber, that's totally fine. You don't have to do what I do.
Right.
That's just the path that I chose. So if you need to kind of scale that down, totally fine.
Mm-hmm. So would you recommend somebody who maybe has nonfiction and fiction, would you recommend them to have one personal brand, sorry, channel, or two separate channels, one for fiction, one for nonfiction?
I
What would
try.
you?
I would say if there's no audience overlap, separate them. Separate them.
Okay.
But I also, in the same instance, you need to remember the old proverb of the man who chases two rabbits gets none. Focus on
Yeah,
building one first. Get
that
really
was
good at
good.
it. Understand the whole system of YouTube before you start to spread yourself too thin. You can look over at me and go, oh, what Dale said he had X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I've got a fitness channel. It's just collected dust. Like literally,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've posted a video in years. I think I did like a
Right.
pull-up bar like review or something like that. Because by the time that I really fell in love with YouTube is about the time that I started falling out of love with writing fitness books. Because at that time I'd wrote dozens and I was just like, okay, I'm tired of this. And
Mm-hmm.
so you want to know how many channels, fully monetized channels to date. I've had four fully monetized channels. I've got my Dale L. Roberts brand, which is my biggest one, over 100,000 subscribers. The podcast channel, which is coming close to 20,000. I can't remember. It's probably 17,000 at this point. That one is my second. So those are my two primary focuses. I've got
And
a
that's self-publishing with Dale Roberts,
That's the
right?
Self-Publishing with Dale podcast. So
Podcast. Yeah.
the podcast is less polished. I usually do an outline. It's just raw. It's kind of like a conversation between you and I. Whereas the main channel is very polished. I put a lot of high video value production behind that. There's a lot of cuts, there's transitions, there's more scripting, there's more psychology that's put behind each one of those episodes. Not to say that my outline videos have no structure to them, but it's a little bit more raw and
Mm-hmm.
it draws in a different audience because there's different expectations. But there is still some overlap between those two channels. But I have a secret channel that I have. I'm faceless. So Rachel, you
Mm.
probably won't find me. There might be a couple of them that I cut into frame, but all you'll recognize is my voice. And that
Okay.
one, actually, I had done that because I was working as an Amazon influencer. And part of the
Mm.
Amazon influencer program is you get to upload videos on their platform that are monetized in that it showed up on a product page. If somebody buys it, you get a percentage of it. Great, yada, yada. Let's put that off the site because we're talking about YouTube. But I was allowed to publish those videos elsewhere. And I'm like, well, this is stupid for me. Just let it collect digital dust. I'll
Right.
go ahead and dump it over onto YouTube channel. You fast forward a couple of years later, boom, it's fully monetized. I did absolutely nothing. And by the way, these videos are the worst, the worst. And when I say they're the worst, here's why. I found that a lot of videos weren't performing very well, that I was doing high production value over on Amazon. For whatever reason, I would take my iPhone 7 with its junk quality camera and I would just point and shoot. And I would stutter, I would stammer, I would say words wrong, didn't matter, keep plowing through. Because for whatever reason, that resulted in more sales. A lot more people
Mm.
were watching those videos and buying things. So I was like, okay, great. So I took those same videos and I published them on YouTube. And lo and behold, here we go. It's actually
Yeah.
taken off and I've got a fully monetized channel. And so that is three. There is a fourth one, but I walked away from the co-creator. Uh,
Mm.
it was my brother, and long story short is don't go into business with your family. Love my brother to death. We had that thing fully monetized. It was just short of 10,000 subscribers last I saw. It's actually called live streaming tech, and you'll see my brother there. So if you're ever curious, you can always go over there and go into the backlog of videos. You actually will see in one of the videos my entire rig, what I use from the lights, the cameras, the microphone, everything. I break everything down and even tell everybody the cost. So if you're ever bored, go look up live streaming tech. That's my brother and I, and you'll see one of the videos there where I break it all down. I walked away again. Don't start business with family because inevitably you're going to butt heads. And so that's when I was like, you know what, man? I'm like, we worked on something great together. It's yours. And
Yeah.
I don't regret it. But all that to say this, that the systems that I've implemented over the past several years it's duplicatable. Like I can keep
Hmm.
doing this and keep doing this. In fact, I have no doubt in my mind that I'll be able to get fully monetized within, I would say, 3 months with the sci-fi horror channel. I just have
Hmm.
such a very specific launch strategy that I know it's going to do really, really well. And a lot of people will say instantly, Rachel, I just want to kind of put this to bed really quick. Some people go, well, it's going to be easy for you because you have 100,000 subscribers, you have 20,000 subscribers. It's not
Yep.
true. Those two channels definitely have cross-polluted, okay? Because there is audience overlap on something like that.
Right.
But I don't send people over the secret channel because I don't want authors watching content that is not for authors, because what ends up happening is it starts to pollute my viewership and it confuses YouTube's algorithms. And so at that point, it won't know what audience to serve it to, or it'll serve it to the wrong one. So that's why I don't ever disclose on that channel, and I don't want you to look it up. So that way, it's not
Yeah.
ruining things for how it's going right now. It's not that I don't want people to see it. It's not that I want to be secretive, but I just want to protect that asset and get the most out of it. So another reason
Hmm.
why when I launch that sci-fi horror channel, I'm not going to tell my following. I won't. I want to start from scratch. I want to get grassroots. And further proof, this is very funny because I actually started my main channel April 2016. I started the podcast channel right around 2019. It might have been June or July. And in the first year, I can't tell you the number of comments of people saying, "Oh, you've got a podcast channel?" Or, "Oh, wait a second, you got another channel like beyond this
Yeah.
podcast channel?" There was like a lot of people that weren't aware of it. And so the
Yeah.
nice thing is, because of me not saying much about it, I was able to bring in a whole new viewership, and then I was able to cross-pollinate. But I wouldn't try to do that with another channel. So in other words, I didn't try to send people too often from my self-publishing channel to live streaming tech, because again, there's very little overlap. It's going to pollute what you want to train the algorithms on and serving your audience out to.
It sounds like to me the most important thing is you need to focus on serving the person that you want to reach.
Yep.
And if you do that well, they will find you and they will engage with you. But you have to
Yep.
focus on serving them. And so that's why when you're making those crappy videos for Amazon, you're serving that they want to know that a real person reviewed it, right?
Yep.
And so that's why the crappy videos work.
It does.
But
It does. And it's
but
embarrassing quality, by the way. A lot of people
yeah.
always laugh like, "Oh, it's probably not that bad." And oh gosh, that is potato quality, dude. Like that's you. And I'm like, "Hey,
But
yo,
it's
don't."
doing what it
It
needs to do,
works.
right?
Yeah,
It's doing what it
exactly.
needs to do. It needs to serve the audience that it needs to serve. And so it helps when you focus on that, when you focus on serving the reader, focus on serving the viewer, they're going to naturally be attracted to you.
Yep.
So I think that is why it's important point to hammer in there for any part of what we do as authors. But I want you, like personally, like I have this like personal desire for you to like document everything you do with this new channel and then release the YouTube for fiction authors. That's your next book, just
Chances
FYI.
are super likely that I'll be doing that. And by the way, in YouTube for authors, I do go deep into fiction strategy,
Yes,
and
you
you
do.
will see
Yeah.
literally the strategy that I told you about for my sci-fi horror brand. It is in
Hmm.
there, and it's initially just put in as a concept, but when I got done writing, I was like, "Oh, well, there's my game plan. Boom!" I just went ahead and I was
Yes.
like, "Let's go ahead and implement it. We're gonna do
Let's
this. I just need to
just
scale back all my other stuff, or I need to hire on more help." And in this instance, I'm probably, as I was telling my wife, I've got a freelance service I use through a site called Floxy, and they will do everything from graphic design to video editing. They're probably
uh,
going to handle all the production of that. I'm just going to hand those assets off to them so that way I can continue to focus on my other two channels. So don't
yeah.
think that it's like, oh, Dale just said the man who chases two rabbits gets none. Well, yeah, that's true, but I at least have some systems that are put into place. And if I just delegate those
Yes.
duties, it's not going to split me in too many different directions.
And there's a difference between trying to build two new things at the same time and having something that's already established, like your current channels are, and
Yep.
starting something new. Like you are solid, you're in a rhythm with your two channels. You have your systems, you have your people that you have hired, or you don't you outsource it to different things or whatever you do. You already have that figured out. You already have that smoothly operating. Now you're starting this new thing. You didn't try to do them both at the same time.
Yep.
So I'm just curious, are you currently writing while you're launching this new channel or are you done with the book?
Okay, so where I'm at right now is I actually have a half a season from Kindle Vella series that I ended up hosting over on laterpress.com. I'm going to finish out that series, and it's actually going to function as a reader magnet that I'm going to
Okay.
go ahead and start to bring in some more people. Now, reader magnet, for anybody that's not familiar, it's essentially almost like a bribe that you get people to sign up on your email newsletter.
Yep.
Going into October, I'm going to finish up that season and get it to where I start to build up that email list. And at the same time, I'm going to be launching one video per week during that time. So that way, it will give me enough time that I can start writing that first novel. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's literally what I'm looking at is a sci-fi horror novel that I'll be able to really every strategy I've learned over the years, I'm going to be able to finally implement. And I'm thoroughly, thoroughly looking forward to it. All that to say this, though, the reason why I did 12 videos is it takes me out 12 weeks. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would say 2 months into probably that content release schedule, I should have some idea of where I'm at with the progress of my novel, and then hopefully be able to figure out what does that content release strategy look like then. Because if I know, like, say for instance, my novel is going to be done in January, then I'm probably going to need to buy another 12 weeks of time. So then at
Mm-hmm.
that point I would start to build out, okay, what was successful on my first 12 video series? How can I double down on those things? And what are some new concepts that I can experiment that will bring in more viewers? It's going to be a little bit of work. Obviously, I'm going to be working on that work in progress and doing the videos at the same time. But the nice thing is, I'm so calculated about how I put together my content release strategy. I know that I can just chip away at it slowly but surely. So for instance, I mean, October's a ways away. I've already got the first
Mm-hmm.
script done of 12. I've already got I've got the titles, I have the descriptions, I have the tags, I have the thumbnail concept ideas. So that way, when it's ready to go, it's ready to go. So I'm going to have all these 12 things done. I'll probably record 3 videos a day over 4 days. And then I'll take those videos, send them off over to Floxy. I'll have them put those things together, upload those, schedule them out. I've already got the metadata ready to go. And then we're good to go. And that way, all I need to focus on for that first 2 months there is strictly going all in on my fiction writing, going boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom. Let's finish this novel up. When it gets up that 2 month mark, that's when the meter's running down just a little bit. So at this point, I'm going to look at where I'm at in my publishing schedule. If I'm going to be finished, then I'm going to start to build content that leads people over to that book eventually.
Right.
So there's so many ways that we can talk about strategy, but I don't want anybody to think that this strategy is the strategy you're going to do or you should
Mm-hmm.
do. A lot of this is going to be experimentation. It's theory until you actually go and practice it. And at that point, you'll be able to
Right.
get your results and the data that you need so you can make a better, more informed decision going forward. So I feel confident only because I have systems in place. I
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what to do. I even have some people I can lean on that are experts within the YouTube space that I can reach out to and say, "Hey, I got a question about this and that. What do you think about this?"
Right.
And I'm able to kind of bounce those ideas. If you're brand new to this, I want you to give yourself a little bit of lenience, a little bit of grace. It may take a month. It may take a month for you. It may take a year. It may take a few years before you get fully monetized. But I want you to remember this: full monetization is not all that in bag of chips. You could
Mm-hmm.
get on the YouTube Partner Program, which the YouTube Partner Program functions in a way. There's so many ways that it does it. One of the ways that you make money is if they serve ads on your videos. You allow them to serve ads on your videos, you get a 50% cut of the revenue driven from those ads. So when you get that, um, that's the money that you are going to get paid through YouTube. Now, if you don't put any ads on your stuff, that's totally fine. There are other ways to monetize it because you got books. There's affiliate programs. You can recommend people to go to a brand,
Right.
service, or product, or even your book. So, for instance, if you're part of the Amazon Associates program and your book is on Amazon, you share an Amazon link in there and you fully disclose it, by the way, got to fully
Mm-hmm.
disclose it, then people are going to buy that. So, for
Right.
instance, that secret channel that I have, it wasn't monetized and I was already making money. My very first video,
Yes.
boom, already making money because I was putting in those Amazon Associates links and people were purchasing products through it.
Yes. And I think one of the other things that doesn't get talked enough about is your YouTube videos being a lead magnet to your lead magnet, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right. So we don't necessarily always have to make money from our YouTube channels, but we
Yep.
can gain followers on our email list, and they're a lot easier to convert to buyers And so the lead magnet to lead magnet is an important thing as well.
I love
Well,
the lead
Dale,
magnet to lead magnet. That's the redundancy is beautiful, but it's accurate
it
because
is.
yeah, it's that lead magnet to your lead magnet, and this is something I do in a lot, quite a few of my videos. Is hey, if you've derived any type of value from this, I think you're going to enjoy my weekly email newsletter.
Yes,
Once to twice per week, I share X, Y, and Z. Make sure you go ahead and sign up at xyz.com, and I'll be able to send you some of my latest updates in this. Think about how
yes.
you'll be able to say that in your videos because here's the thing is YouTube is much like Amazon or other platforms that are selling your book. All right. That is rented land. So if you can try to take people off of that platform and bring them so that way there's more of a direct relationship and email marketing is the way to go. Love it. Reader magnet to your reader magnet. Rachel, I'm stealing that idea and I'm crediting you with it.
Okay, great. I don't mind. Go for it. Share it with people. They need to know it more. More people need to know that. Well, Dale, I could keep asking you and talking to you about. I know there's so much more we can utilize YouTube for. There's so many different ways to approach it. I love how you broke down what you're going to do with launching your fiction channel. I appreciate you being so like open with that. And I am looking forward to that other book if you ever make it of your like case study of launching this fiction channel.
Yeah,
But I will be one of the first people if you ever make that book because I think it is really hard sometimes for fiction writers to wrap their brains around because you do have
it
to
is.
take like this extra step of
Mhm.
thinking like how can I serve this reader other than just and it's so hard because there's oftentimes a long time before the book even releases. And so I really love how you are strategically approaching the the way that you're going to launch the channel as well as write the book. And I wanted to ask you that question because I think there's a tendency of people to think, oh, well, I'll maybe do the YouTube channel after I write the book,
Yeah,
or if I start this, will I ever finish my book? So I
so
wanted to
true.
ask that question to say, like, you can do both things at the same time
Mhm.
if you are realistic. Like you said at the beginning of the conversation, look at your schedule, look at what you're able to do.
Mhm.
What feels good for you? What can you realistically put out there? And I know that your book goes into all of that advice
Mhm.
too. So why don't you right now let the listener know a little bit more about that book and what they can expect from it?
Well, you want to take all of the knowledge that I've just given you and some of the stuff broken down on a more granular level at a little bit slower of a pace because I am a fast speaker. YouTube for Authors is the name of that book. You can pick it up at every major online retailer, or if you'd like to use the link youtubeforauthors.com, it'll take you over to the ebook version. That actually is my direct sales platform over through Later Press. Go ahead and give that a look. But again, you can find it even in libraries, some libraries. I shouldn't say all libraries, but there are some libraries that do carry YouTube for Authors already. So just go ahead and do that little bit of search. And of course, you can find me over on YouTube. Just look up Dale L. Roberts. And by the way, Rachel, I'm going to save you some trouble because I know you're going to go looking for it anyways. The Sci-Fi Horror channel will be my full name, Dale Lewis Roberts. So it won't be Dale L. Roberts. If you do go over and watch it, only come over and watch it if you're a sci-fi horror fan. Otherwise, I think you're going to be greatly disappointed.
I probably won't. I'm not a sci-fi horror person. So
There you go.
I will make sure not to mess up your algorithm.
Gotcha. Thank you.
um, I I thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And there was one more thing I was going to ask you about. Oh, I was going to say I have read YouTube for Authors and I 100% recommend it. I think it
Thank you.
is so well broken down. It's one of the only YouTube resources out there that puts it, at least that I have found, that it explains how to do it as an author because it is a unique industry that we're in.
Yeah.
We're not your typical coach or service industry. And so it is
Nope.
a unique industry. And so I appreciate that you wrote this book and put it out there into the world so that it takes the thinking work out a bit for us authors who are trying to adapt what everybody else in the YouTube coaching space is saying. So I appreciate that. It's very easy to follow, just like your other books. I've used your other books too.
Thank you.
And I appreciate how you just make it really easy to follow. You're really clear. You give great examples. So I 100% recommend you go pick up Dale's book. I've read it. I think it's great. So definitely, for sure, go read it if you're interested in YouTube.
I
So I'm
appreciate
gonna.
those kind words. That's so nice of you. I poured my heart and soul into that thing. I did deep research because there was a lot of pressure. I've got some friends, Roberto Blake, Nick Nemeth, Brian G. Johnson. I told you my mentor was Daryl Eves at one point. I knew that eventually they'd end up reading it, and I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I made sure I put everything into this, and I wanted to make
Yes.
sure that there was no stone unturned. I had some great beta readers as well, because initially the original version didn't have enough focused on fiction. And one of my beta readers is like, "Hey, you're doing great with the nonfiction stuff, but like I still don't feel like I have enough substance or enough jumping off point as a fiction author." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like,
Yes.
the concept makes sense to me, but I'm like, maybe I should break down how that strategy would look. And it wasn't until I was done with the book that I was like, I should have a YouTube channel for my fiction brand. I'm like, okay, this is going to be it. So hopefully I will come back to you with a case study within the next year that will help you out.
That'd be awesome. Well, why don't we close out with this? What words of advice do you have for those of us who are trying to navigate the business side of writing and selling books? It's a hard thing to navigate, but what words of
Yeah.
advice do you have for us?
If you truly believe in the content that you're writing in your heart of hearts, that it's going to be impactful in this world, don't hold that. Don't gatekeep that. Don't keep it away from the world. There's going to be someone's life that you're going to make a massive impact on. So never let that monkey mind or that inner angry editor to tell you that you're not worth it, that your message is not worth it, or that it's not measuring up to anybody else. You are worth it. You do have a message worth sharing with the world. So don't stop that.
Love that. Thank you so much, Dale, for being here. I appreciate it. It has been an amazing conversation, and I really do appreciate it. And for those of you who are listening, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Business of Christian Fiction.